Shaking your fig tree is one TikTok trend that actually checks out. So what it does is it stimulates wind in an outdoor environment and it strengthens the roots and the trunk. And ever since I shook my fig tree gently, I've gotten like 7 new leaves, and that might be because it's the spring season, but my fig barely grew at all last year, and I'll show you all the new growth. It's really exciting. These guys just came in this week. This one is brand new. It's like a week and a half old. This is new. And then I have this one popping out of nowhere. And then look at this. There's 4 new leaves coming in here. I'm not saying it's because I've been shaking my fig tree, but I'm not saying it's because I've been shaking my fig tree.
Oh no! You repotted your plant and now its leaves are droopy and yellow! This is called transplant shock. Transplant shock happens when your roots are damaged during repotting. Our plant's root systems are composed of all these different types of roots with all these fine, delicate little root hairs. When these delicate root hairs are missing, the plant isn't able to uptake as much water as it was previously. This is what leads to yellow, droopy leaves.
Okay guys, we're doing it. This is how to care for your string of pearls. First, let's talk about lighting. The assumption that string of pearls need high direct light all day long is actually really untrue. These guys actually thrive in bright, indirect light. Mine hangs out in my window all day long, and because of my building, this is as bright as it gets. And with regards to lighting, you want to make sure that that indirect light is hitting the top of the plant. I personally think watering is where people go wrong with this plant. It's been several months since I've actually watered this one, and it is pushing out new growth like crazy right now. Because of how quickly they can develop root rot, they actually bounce back easier when underwatered. When you're new, don't be afraid to let the pearls get a little bit puckered or sad looking before you water them, and I personally bottom water. That'll give you a better idea of how often you need to be watering it. Good luck!
You want to have house plants, but you keep killing them. Let's start with some basics. Always get a pot with a hole. I don't care how fucking cute that pot is, Stephanie. It's important for drainage. You also recommend terracotta for everything. With the teacot hole combo, you'll never get root rot again. Teacot hole. Teacot again for the win, because you'll learn the weight. You'll be like, oh, that's a packed pot. Teacot hole. Or you'll be like, oh, I need to water that. Teacot hole. We'll leave it there for today. Maybe this is like tips 1 of 8,000. I don't fucking know. But holes are a must. Of course, there are ways to do it without a hole, but it's just not worth the grief it'll cost you.
Here's how you can be successful with the snake plant, otherwise known as the mother-in-law's tongue or Sansevieria. Don't make fun of my talking. I got Invisalign yesterday. Anyway, let's start out with light. They prefer to have bright light. They'll grow much faster, and they will actually bloom in bright light as well, but they can take bright light, medium light, or low light, as you can see right here. If this plant doesn't live in your low light situation, nothing will. In the wintertime, you can let them dry out about 75% between watering. This one isn't ready to be watered yet. You can see how there's wet soil still on there. In the summertime, you can let them dry out like 50% in between watering. And remember to thoroughly soak them. Right here, I'm showing you I use granule fertilizer throughout the year, but use whatever's best for your lifestyle. When I repot them in 75% cactus soil and 25% house.
I work with houseplants for a living. This is what different color spots mean on your fiddle leaf fig. First, let's start with red spots. These tiny little red spots are called edema. This actually can happen to humans as well, and it's caused by trapped excess fluid. Doesn't necessarily mean you got full-blown root rot. We regret to inform you that if you've got dark black spots like this, you might have root rot. But if they're lighter brown spots like this, it might just be a little thirsty. However, all these spots are like scars, so even if you have resolved the problem, they're not going to go away. So don't think that because you have them, you're still doing a bad job.
Are you going somewhere and don't want to leave your plants behind? Before you start pawning them off to friends, here's how to pack your plants for moving with things you probably already have at home. All you need to make sure these guys have a safe journey is a box, some tape, newspaper for padding, some water, and paper towels. First, we'll start with our small and medium plants, making sure they're fully watered, and then we take some paper towel and get it nice and wet. You're gonna wanna go ahead, lay that paper towel right on top of the soil, and then tape that up super tight. This is gonna keep the soil steady and make sure your plant stays nice and hydrated. Then you can go ahead and repeat that for all of your small and medium-sized plants. Grab your box, fill it up with newspaper padding, and I like to put my saucers in there too for a tiny bit of extra stability. With this big long viney guy, you can just go ahead, pop them right in there, and then you're gonna wanna pull up the vines and fit in all of your other plants. Then you're gonna wanna fill in any space with as much padding as humanly possible. Tuck everything in, seal that baby up, make sure you keep her upright, and you're good to go.
Hey y'all, quick succulent tip. If your plant baby is reaching out and looking a little leggy, they are wanting some more sun. Try moving them to a different window. Good luck and happy planting.
Okay, so if you like plants like I do, then I have a tip for you. Instead of using something like this to pot up your plants, try something like this. This is my very own soil mix, and this is what it looks like when it's unmixed. You can go ahead and pause here if you want. I'll include all the ingredients that I use just for my standard soil mix. So you can see now this is super, super chunky. The reason why this is going to be better for most of your plants is because a lot of plants are susceptible to what we call root rot, and that happens when the roots are sitting in waterlogged soil for too long. Giving them a chunky mix like this will provide a lot of drainage for the water and will also provide more nutrients than standard soil would. I'm gonna use this new mix to repot this guy from here to here. Ta-da!
If you bought a bag of plants that look like this or this, you need to pay attention to a few things on the back no matter how pretty that plant on the front looks.
First things first, look at the hardiness zone. You need to figure out which zone you're in. Here's a map to figure that out. Next, look at how much light that plant needs. Full sun means it needs at least 6 hours of direct sunlight a day. Partial shade or sun needs 3 to 6 hours. If you don't pay attention to the info in the back, your plant may not thrive and may not even bloom.
Here's how to give your plants a little humidity boost. In their natural habitats, plants receive so much more humidity than they do in our homes. So you can mimic that by giving them a little steam shower. All you have to do is make the room super steamy. If you notice your plant has brown edges on its leaves, it may be because of low humidity levels. I do this about once or twice a week and my plants love it. I learned this and so much more on the Candid app.
Overwatering your houseplants, part 5. 2 really good rules of thumb to live by to help prevent overwatering. Number 1, it is almost always easier to save a thirsty plant rather than a plant that's rotted. And number 2, always check the soil moisture.
Today's plant tip. Today we're going to talk about browning leaves. Brown leaves can occur from an overexposure to direct sunlight burning the leaves, low humidity, overly dry soil, or an excess of minerals like fluoride that can be found in most tap water. If only the tip of your plant is turning brown, use a pair of scissors to cut along the browned edge. If an entire leaf is browned, you should remove it from the plant. Once you finish pruning your plant, make sure you give it a good watering. For this large corn plant and our bird of paradise, we like to pop them in the shower and give them a nice soak.
Quick hacks for healthy plants, part 6. If your plants look a bit unhealthy and need a pick-me-up, try using Epsom salt to water it. Epsom salt contains magnesium sulfate, which allows plants to better absorb nutrients, and it also aids in the creation of chlorophyll, which is vital for photosynthesis. I usually use 2 tablespoons of salt per gallon of water, and I do this process once a month. Enjoy!
Forget about all the fancy plant gadgets. Here are the 3 things every plant parent should have. Extra all-purpose potting mix for repotting and replenishing. Neem oil for broad spectrum pest control and cleaning your plants. And a spray bottle, aka my favorite low-tech way to humidify.
Hey guys, so a lot of people were asking me about how I take care of Freddy, my fiddle-leaf fig, so today I'm going to show you what I do. When I first got Freddy, I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't give him the proper things he needed, so he showed no growth. After I did my research, I learned that I needed to mimic Freddy's natural habitat to get him to put out new growth, so that's what I did. I have a south-facing window where he gets a butt ton of light. I shake him to mimic wind that he would get if he was outside, and I do this like every other day while I scroll on my phone for a few minutes. And I water him in my shower, and I thoroughly water him like hard to mimic like rain. And ever since I started doing those things, he put out this brand new leaf in my care, and the next leaf is coming, and there's even a leaf right there that's gonna come out soon. So yeah, I would definitely recommend shaking your tree and watering it like rain.
What's up guys, I'm at Lowe's right now and I'm going to show you guys the top plants that will improve the air quality in your home. Peace lilies, snake plants, photos, these beautiful dracaenas, and English ivies. And if you have room in the house, I would get one of these.
Cinnamon espresso for my indoor plants. You'll need coffee, cinnamon, and rainwater. You can also use distilled water or club soda. Use 1 tablespoon of coffee and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and give this a good mix. You can give this to your plants once a week because it's an organic fertilizer that's rich with potassium, nitrogen, and phosphorus. I'm telling you, your plants would love you so much. Thank you for watching and follow for more.
It is time for our most requested plant of the week. Here's how to take care of your peace lily. Not only are these guys tolerant of low light, but they love it, so keep them away from windows and make sure you give them lots of water. I like to water when the top layer of soil dries out, and because they love so much water, it's super important to have good drainage. Always make sure to chop off dead flowers, and they're super dramatic, so if you wake up one day and your peace lily looks like this, don't worry, she's probably just thirsty.
If your plants are dying or wilting, don't give up just yet. Try this. Grab a cup or a bowl, add in 1 tablespoon of 3% peroxide, and mix it with 1 cup of water. Apply this directly to the soil of your dying plant and watch your plant come back to life. Do this once every 3 weeks.
Let's talk elephant ears. There are 4 main types of elephant ears. You have your colocaceae, your caladiums, your alocaceae, and your xanthosomas. This is the Colocasia esculenta, also known as the taro plant. It's a staple food in African, Oceanic, and South Asian cultures because of its edible corms. These are caladiums discovered in the Amazon River Basin. Known for the colorful foliage, there are over 75 cultivars that are sold commercially. This one is a pink beauty. Check out that flower. Alocaceae are a super popular houseplant, as we all know. 97 species are native to tropical and subtropical Asia and East Australia. This is my Alocasia odora. Okay, saving the best for last. This is a Xanthosoma sagittifolium. Definitely botched that. They're harvested in Central and South America for their tubers. They're found in swamps and along stream banks. And in Florida, they're super invasive, so we keep them in pots so we don't destroy the environment.
My plant parents, they expect me to be low light. That's the reason why they bought me. They put me in their darkest corners, but they don't realize that if they just gave me bright and direct light, I would thrive. I want to step into the sun. I'm from South Africa. Fuck.